examination registration fees. Uneb is also cautioning heads of centers or their representatives to ensure that all registration fees are remitted to the board and that the students are duly registered for the examination. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been common in the past when the board is about to start to examine the candidates to realize that a group of candidates from a particular school have not been registered for the examination which they are hoping to sit. And this is also a criminal offense. Anyone who fails to remit monies that they have collected in the name of registration, these ones also commit an offense, and they are also liable on conviction to a fine of not exceeding 2,000 currency points or 40 million shillings or a term of imprisonment of 10 years. This is in accordance with Section 32 of the Uneb Act of 2021. And such persons will also pay back the monies that they collected and did not remit. And where they are registered teachers, they may also be registered, deregistered in accordance with laws regulating teachers. Registration of private candidates labeled as government-sponsored candidates. This is also a common activity or offense that is being committed. Heads of government-aided schools are put on notice, therefore, not to register private candidates and call them government-sponsored candidates. This is a fraudulent practice which causes financial loss to government. And any head of examination center or a school director that will be found indulging in this practice shall pay twice the amount of money that they have defrauded. And relevant laws on dealing with fraud will also be applied on such persons. The examination center definitely shall be withdrawn. The Uneb Act 2021, Section 4, Subsection 2 requires schools and examination centers to display the register of candidates that have been registered in a conspicuous place at the school notice boards some 2 months or 60 days before the date of commencement of the national examination. So heads of examination centers are hereby put on notice to ensure that at the end of the registration period, they make printed copies of the registration slip from the Uneb portal and display this conspicuously so that candidates, parents, and any other interested person can check the registration status. It is a responsibility of the candidates, the parents, and heads of centers to confirm that the biodata of the candidates that they have registered are appearing correctly, and candidates must also verify the correctness of the details about themselves, particularly the spelling and the order of their names, the way they want these to appear in their records. The correct names, the correct spelling of those names, and if somebody has 2, 3 more than names, the order in which they would like those names to appear. The date of birth as prescribed in their birth certificates, and these should be in the order of day, month, and year. In some cases, you may find in some places they start off with the year, month, and then they end up with the day, or they start with the month, then the day, and then the year. For the purpose of Uganda National Examination Board registration, we want the date of birth to start with the day or date on which the person was born, and the month, and then finally the year. The correctness of gender. This sounds a small thing, but when the document, academic document, is eventually published and a man is appearing having F or female against their name or vice versa, it becomes a big matter. So we want at this point, when we are correctly looking at the registration, make sure the gender there is stated correctly, male or female. The right photograph. Ladies and gentlemen, slips, result slips and photographs now appear with the photographs of the owners. It is therefore very important to ensure that the photograph that is attached to each candidate is the photograph of that particular candidate. We are finding challenges when candidates return these documents because the photograph thereon belongs to another candidate within the school. This has been most common with primary schools which employ people they call service providers to do the registration for them. And these service providers do not know the candidates individually, so they may make mistakes in as far as attaching photographs to the registration forms are concerned. So during the period of checking the register, we would like to encourage candidates to ensure that the photographs appearing against their names are actually their photographs. And then finally, for the Uganda of examination registration fees, the Uneb is also cautioning heads of centers or their representatives to ensure that all registration fees are remitted to the board and that the students are duly registered for the examination. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been common in the past when the board is about to start to examine the candidates to realize that a group of candidates from a particular school have not been registered for the examination which they are hoping to see. And this is also a criminal offense. Anyone who fails to remit monies that they have collected in the name of registration, this one also commit an offense, and they are also liable on conviction to a fine of not exceeding 2,000 currency points or 40 million shillings or a term of imprisonment of 10 years. This is in accordance with Section 32 of the Uneb Act of 2021. And such persons will also pay back the monies that they collected and did not remit. And where they are registered teachers, they may also be registered, deregistered in accordance with laws regulating teachers. Registration of private candidates labeled as government-sponsored candidates. This is also a common activity or offense that is being committed. Heads of government-aided schools are put on notice, therefore, not to register private candidates and call them government-sponsored candidates. This is a fraudulent practice which causes financial loss to government. And any head of examination center or school director that will be found indulging in this practice shall pay twice the amount of money that they have defrauded. And relevant laws on dealing with fraud will also be applied on such persons. The examination center definitely shall be withdrawn. It is an offense for anybody to charge fees that are not prescribed by Uneb and refer to such fees as Uneb fees. Heads of centers and school directors are therefore cautioned against calling any administrative costs that they levy on the candidates as Uneb fees. Such an offense attracts a penalty of 2,000 currency points or 40 million shillings, or a term of imprisonment not exceeding 10 years or both, fine and imprisonment term. Additionally, the person convicted of this offense will be required to pay back the money that they collected illegally. The board will proceed to take other administrative measures against the school, including withdrawal of the examination center. And if the person convicted is a registered teacher, other penalties will also be, other sanctions will be applied, including deregistration of such persons according to the regulations. I want to encourage those parents or members of the public that are aggrieved because they've been charged exorbitant fees, alleged to be examination registration fees, to file such complaints with the police. This is a criminal act. It is not prosecuted by Uganda National Examinations Board because the board does not have the capacity to prosecute criminal acts. So where a parent or parents feel aggrieved by the exorbitant fees that have been charged by a school and called the Uneb fees, they should file their complaints with the police so that criminal proceedings are instituted against such persons. Uneb does not have the capacity, neither is it the role of the board to follow up these criminal cases.